So thank you very
Okay.
much, Usman, for this interview. This podcast is dedicated to bring in politicians and experts and stakeholders to share their divergent perspectives to the very issues that continue to affect the country, ranging from malgovernance, corruption, high cost of living, poverty, and also transitional justice implementation process. To begin with you can share a background on because you are the digital and what is it again?
Creative strategy director.
Digital and creative strategy director for Tabax Rewmi. Tabax Rewmi is a Wolof word dubbed building the nation.
Hello, the network is second.
Yeah, so you can say the background for Tabax Rewmi, its core values and objective that it has now formally entered the political fray and what it hoped to achieve towards the December presidential election.
Okay. Thank you very much for hosting us. It's a pleasure joining you on this, as you rightly said, a platform geared towards contributing its quota to the school towards election 2026 rather, and beyond. Well, I am Usman MJ from the Tabax Rewmi movement, serving as the Digital and Creative Strategy Director, at the same time overseeing the National Youth Coordinator position. I am here today in my capacity as a bona fide member of Tabax Rewmi movement, but equally as a patriotic Gambian. It is of my view that discussions like this is what would catapult this nation to the promised land. In that, I'd like to encourage your audience who is at this moment. Special greet to Muslims and Christians across the country and beyond in this beautiful month and beautiful period of fasting. May Allah the Almighty accept our prayers. Coming straight to your question, Tabax Rewmi is a movement built or composed of youth who are determined enough to do the necessary sacrifice to usher in a country, a system of governance that will uplift people from circles of poverty into a life of dignity. Just a quick recap or just a quick introduction. I usually say that nations do not collapse overnight. No. They slowly decline when mediocrity becomes acceptable. However, the good news is that nations also can deliberately rise when discipline becomes cultural. By discipline, I mean doing the right thing at the right time, but most especially doing the right thing for the right reasons. Tabax Rewmi is saying that a government, a serious government, must serve its people, not frustrate them. Therefore, we believe if those at the very bottom of society are uplifted, then every other person in this country would feel and benefit from the opportunities in this country and from the resources of this country. It was founded in 2023 based on these values that we as citizens must partake as guaranteed by the Constitution in our political discourse with the view that we can change the narrative. It's headed by President Ahmed M. Hidka, who is the leader currently. And then we have deputy, let's say, seconded by Madam Vice, uh, Haja Maimunaba. And then we have other executives across the country. In a nutshell, that is Tabax Rewmi.
In a nutshell, that is Tabax Rewmi. Gambian politics has long since emanated from fanfare politics, politics of music and dance, politics of personalization, which is the current trend, than politics of issues based that are currently affecting the country. So, how is Tabax Rewmi?
The network is breaking. I lost the response.
Okay, I said Gambia, our politics is more of personalization. Politicians trotting against one another.
Absolutely.
It has now become like politics of clapping, politics of jumping and dancing. How is Tabax Rewmi currently in its effort to tackle these challenges? Politics of personalization, politics of hatred, politics of hate speech, and so on and so forth.
Thank you very much. At Tabax Rewmi, we believe it's not an easy fight, but the question is not how easy or how difficult it is, whether it is a worthy fight, and we believe indeed it is worth every effort. The fight to emancipate people, the fight to liberate people, the fight to charter in a new path that people can have hope and realize that on the whole, we could have solved our issues easier and even more efficiently, supposed we took this path. What path are we talking about? That is, instead of politics of personalities, politics of rhetorics, we have issue-based politics, politics of agenda, politics of programs. Because this the mature government is not interested in political rhetorics. I can tell you for a fact that the market woman wants stability, the farmer wants support, the youth want opportunity, the civil servant want fairness, and the child needs hope for a better future. Now, coming to the question, what is Tabax Rewmi doing? We've engaged in mass sensitization of people in telling them that there is another option, a third option, an option that is better and more efficient at solving the status quo. That is, we present to the Gambian people the challenges we face as a nation and what could have been the solution. For example, for instance, we've seen year in, year out, farmers in that worrying and woeful condition that every other time they scramble for fertilizers, they maybe use other traditional tools and some other animals such that their production capacity is limited. When they had or they're having land, abundant land, when this country is having enough water, now instead of farming for just a season, the rainy season, for 4 or 5 months, and then sit back and fold their hands for the rest of the year, no. Tabax Rewmi is saying that we can make use of these resources. That's the arable land, this fertile land, and then make use of our water bodies. Wherever there is river, there is bolong, and this, we make sure that we channel water through the National Agricultural Water Grid System so that it reaches to any farmer wherever they may be. That way, we'll have year-round cultivation, and this in turn will take them out of poverty. For example, another example, the youth of this country, if given the necessary training, the necessary skill and vocational training, could be and can be millionaires. For instance, how many other times do we see furnitures, furniture that could have been made in this country being imported? How many times have we seen simple materials as simple as broom or mop, as simple as even, let's say, toothpick? These are things that we import, and they are things that could be made that we can make in this country. In a nutshell, Tabax is making efforts by sensitizing the masses, talking via any platform we have, that it is possible, change is possible, Gambians deserve better, and it's possible to have better. It is true that for for the past decade or so, or we've been witness to politics of personalities, rhetorics, and all that. But it's time that we deliberately reflect upon what has that yielded for us. Is this actually the trajectory that we want to continue on, or do we want to change trajectory so that we can learn into the future that we want? In a nutshell, Tabax is doing those efforts to ensure that we continue sensitizing the masses. Because
Okay.
when we pass on that path, sooner or later people will realize that yes, this is doable, this is possible, and then they will embrace it. And once they embrace it, that's the end for all other people who believe that they should use tribal politics to divide people along tribal lines, or they should use regional or ethnicity or whatsoever, or even up to religious to divide people. It will be over for them.
Thank you. Okay. Tabax Rewmi as a new movement, have you embarked on a nationwide sensitization in an effort to strengthen your base, to strengthen your membership capacity, for them to take to participate actively in the political discourse?
Yes, thank you so much for that very important question. We are doing that, and it is in phases. Right now, we're leveraging technology. We're leveraging social media to expand our reach to the farthest part of this country. Equally, we have engaged, we've organized town hall meetings where we talk to our militants, talk to our members, and talk to also the general public. We've equally organized press conference and equally engage in outreach, community outreach, where we talk to the people directly and then listen at their concerns and equally give them hope that change is possible, a better Gambia is possible. Yes, we are doing that. And it's in phases, and soon we will embark on a nationwide tour because our tours have not been connected. At times we'll go to West Coast, other times we'll go to North Bank, but within one time zone to go across the country, we're yet to do that for some reasons, but we will soon be doing that, inshallah.
Thank you. Also, another point that is on the way, that is Tabax Rewmi with other political parties are now signatory to the coalition building process initiated by the Apex, which is an independent initiative and also a coalition broker for 2026. We've also seen the Trivergence Accord recently. Gambia, from post-independence, we've seen a lot of coalition building that have merged alliances and so on and so forth. But we've seen also coalition failures in terms of a breakaway. The 2016 coalition that has been fragmented after achieving its primary goal of unseating President Jammeh in the 2016 presidential election. How is this coalition building exercise process going to be different? Going to be different from the past coalition building in this country?
Thank you very much. This coalition building exercise is different already in all aspects from that of 2016, in the sense that we've all been a living witness to what has happened, what has transpired, even though we may not understand everything that happened behind closed doors, but the results that it has yielded, we've all been a living witness to it. And then learning from those failures, Apex is building on those, let's say, those experience so that it will be completely different. The approach they've taken is something that we at Tabax may commend, that they've engaged both political parties and political movements in the sense that the Gambia needs everyone on board, all hands on deck to charter in a new future for the Gambia. A new type of governance. For the rest of the answers or other details, Apex will be in a better position to share that. But our position is that we are in this because we believe that any discussion, any arrangement that is based on the principle that the Gambians deserve better, we would want to be part and parcel of that discussion. Because our input would be very important in bringing about a coalition that is based on principles, that is based on foundation, that is based on building a government that will, let's say, how do you call it? That will give preference to building institutions, strong institutions that will outlive strong men. That is the Apex and Tabax Rewmi at the moment.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, in the Gambia, to win an election, you must have direct connection with the electorate at the grassroots level. How is Tabax Rewmi doing that to win the hearts of the electorate, and also how is Tabax Rewmi doing its politics at the grassroots to win the electorate?
Thank you very much. We've already almost covered part of that. That is the community outreach, leveraging social media to reach people, and equally organizing town hall meetings, and let's say some tours to certain regions. But in a nutshell, the main method we're using, that is to speak to people, that is to talk to people about the realities on the ground and then providing solutions. Because unless we start giving solutions to people, they cannot weigh which option is better. Because the incumbent and the current government is already doing some efforts. They're doing some effort in certain areas. But beyond or behind those efforts, what are the citizenry losing to an extent that it could have been better? We bring about those solutions. Now, when they compare and contrast, most of the time, if not all the time, they will realize that yes, we have the better options. For example, when we talk about the woes of this country, the predicament that has befallen this country, the hardship that has engulfed this country. It is enormous. But at the end of the day, you realize that not only that there is, let's say, hardship, but there's no hope of a better or less serious situations for people of this country, economic situations, I mean. Now, for Tabax Rewmi, we believe that when we stick to telling the people that no other person will come from any other part of this world or heaven or wherever to come and save this country. It is we, the Gambian people, we as people, citizens of this country, who should do the needful, the hard work, the candid conversations to bring about the change, to bring about the developments that we need. We do tell people that the best resource or the resource, let's say, most important resource of a nation is human resources. So that's why Tabahrim prioritizes the people. In its agenda, top on that list is the people. Why the people? Because when you build those people, when you give them the right education, you give them the right opportunity, you give them the right, let's say, market, access to finance, then those people can bring about the change that you need. Let's say there is this rural electrification project, but how many people, how many households can afford cash power? I just some days back, a friend of mine told me that honestly, man, how many cash for line legal credit. That whatsoever he has is spent on cash for, is spent on credit until when? That's the question. So it's not about bringing electricity, but it's bringing about affordable electricity and reliable electricity. There are still areas in this country whereby the current is of low voltage to an extent that even the light bulb wouldn't come on. To an extent that when you have TV, it may blow up. To an extent that when you have a refrigerator, before it starts working, it might be midnight. So, Tabahremi, in its capacity as a political movement, as a political actor, is doing all it could, all it can to ensure that these people get the message and they are getting it. Now, we face some situations whereby we will come to areas and they will tell us, no, there were people like you, some people who speak brilliant ideas, some people who confronted the truth, who spoke truth to power and all that. But today they are no more with us. They are all siding with the very system that they challenge or that they cost or the very system that they criticize. But the simple answer we tell them is that let us not despair. This is different. Koy jaay bokkut wala ñi koy jaay bokkut ñun du ñoom du ñun for the simple fact that ñun dafa am luñ gëm. Like for example, at Tabax Rewmi we have four C's. We call it the four C's of Tabax Rewmi. One is conviction. When we enter into this, and so whosoever we appoint, the structures we build across the country, we inform them, we make it clear to them that the conviction that you should have to enter and join this political game is to ensure that you are truthful, honest, and you are entering to serve people, not to benefit from whatsoever position you are being given or would be given. That is one, the conviction. Second is community. That is community based. Like we are talking about the people. It should be people centered governance. We are here to serve people and not frustrate them. The third C of Tabah Rewmi is, let's say, character. Why character? Because it is the character of a person that helps them, guides them in their dealings while they're office and even beyond. Because why? We want continuity. That's the fourth C of Tabah Rewmi. That is, a Tabah Rewmi-led government must have continuity. We must build systems or foundations, institutions that will outlive strong men. And this has been what we've been selling across the country. We've also told people that there is nobody who can make us believe or accept that or let's say, that is just for a select few, that others are born and destined to wallow in poverty till they succumb to those hardships. No, we don't believe that. maa ngi lay wax fii te wax naa ko at other platforms, on other platforms ne am warta nekk loo xam ne dañ koy askanale ay tur wala ay sant si dëkk bi képp ko xam nga eewu nga liggéey war ngay am because li war nit ki doomu réew nekk mooy nga liggéey waaye li tax soo liggéeyee nga am loolu government moo koy def because it is the policies, the markets, the investment, the finance that helps brings about all these those factors that will enable you to become a millionaire. Wax naa la ne tabax réew mi den am what we call the millionaire project. Why? Because then gëm ne dëkk bi war nañ am ay millionaires from the resources that we have. Now I will come to the millionaire project, but in a nutshell, these are some of the ideas, some of the concepts that we sell to people, and then they buy it, they actually like, let's say, we must understand this, that people are owned by God. What I mean by this is that nobody owns them, no other political party, whatsoever they may claim about them. What matters is that when the right time comes and the right decision is needed for people to make, they will listen to their heart, and by then they will know that President Ahmed Mheka is the right choice for this country, and they will have voted for him. This does, regardless of whether we read to them or not physically, I mean, but the message will cut across and is cutting across. We're leveraging technology, and beyond that, we will go to every other person wherever they may be, not because we just want their vote, but because we want them to feel that at the end of the day, if it takes us this much effort to come to them, is for them to have the opportunity to reflect and listen to any other political party, every other political party, and then make informed decisions, make informed choices. Because at the end of the day, 5 years is not 5 days, 10 years is not 10 days. And moreover, our children must not inherit the hardships that we are living by.
Okay, in just few minutes to wrap up the interview, because if you look at the predicament facing the country from Jawara, from Jame to Barrow, is quite definitely increasing. If you look at the political parties, their manifestos, their policies, their programs, they all talk about poverty alleviation, women empowerment, youth empowerment, how to manage those things, how to address our corporate national wealth to address these broader challenges that Gambia is facing. How is Tabax hoping to address in paper, not only in draft, but in true practicalization? How do you hope to address this our predicament that the country is facing in 4 minutes?
Thank you. Indirectly, I've answered that question already. That is, first, we started from the foundation that we must have the conviction, that strong conviction that we are not here to party or to benefit from whatsoever. We're here to sacrifice for the people. We must not frustrate them, we must serve them. That's the conviction we have. And that's the bottom line, that's the foundation for any government, because it takes political will to bring about any meaningful change, any policy, because without the political will, without the appetite to do it, you cannot. That's one. The other thing is about making use of our natural resources. I told you that we have the River Gambia, we have Bolongs. Now, water should be accessible to people from all parts of this country. How are we going to do this? We ensure that we have the National Agricultural Water Grid System that will ensure that water is pumped across the country so that people can have year-round farming. Beyond the farming, we will ensure that their produce is being harvested and processed into finished product, let's say added value addition. Beyond that, we have what we call the 100% organic farming, whereby we make 100% organic produce and export to countries that need this, and then it will generate us also foreign currency or forex. Now, we know that the people are the most important resource of this nation, most especially the youth of this nation. You said politicians have used youths as flowers to decorate their gatherings year in, year out. That must stop. Tabahrem is saying that must stop. Why? Because these youths are the backbone of this nation, must be empowered with the right skills, with the right finance, with the right market, so that they can become millionaires. But beyond that, they can serve their country and serve diligently. The other aspect of this Tabahremi government is that we are bringing innovation to things. For example, we are saying that when it comes to healthcare, we prefer prevention to cure, or let's say cure, because what happens is that we have more of a sick care than healthcare. Because when it comes to healthcare system, you try to prevent things before even they get worse. Now, for every other kilometer, let's say 5 kilometers or so, or every other major town, we ensure that there are some public health officials where you can walk in the same way that you walk into the mini market or you walk into the pharmacy. You can walk in and have some checks, check your pressure, check your sugar levels, and all that, so that you can fight things before they get to certain levels. I know time is not on our side, but I can go on and go on and go on and go on and let's say about Tabac because these are things that we've written, things that we are working on. It's a work in progress, and things that we can deliberate on any platform because it's clear to us. We're not using it just because we want to entice youth, because we want to entice women. No, if you see it, we talk more about the Gambian people. That's why, since at the beginning of the interview, I didn't specifically talk about youth or women or this. No, we don't gamble. We are talking about the Gambian people because whether they are youth, women, young or old, the Gambian people deserve better and change is possible. I must close by saying this that when we talk about change, most of the time people argue whether it's possible. I am saying it's possible. For John Maxwell has argued that change happened in 4 instances. That is, when people are hot enough that they have to. Honestly, we've been hot enough. We've endured long pains and there's no hope. But soon that will change. I believe it's almost time, but let me complete this other part. That is the other part why people change is that when they see enough that they're inspired to. We've seen our neighboring countries, we've seen the sub-region that with the right leadership, it's a question of leadership, a question of determination, question of foundation, we can do it. The other reason why people change is when they learn enough that they are that they want to because we've learned enough. We've been outside this country, in and out of this country, and we've seen that it's possible. The other thing is that when they receive enough that they are able to, that's where the problem is. The citizens of this country don't receive enough information, enough opportunities, enough support to get to where they want. That's the Bahraini.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Usman and Jahar. We are definitely running out of time.
Welcome.
To support
Yeah.
this podcast, you can reach out to at our email handle at info@outpost220.net. So thank you so much. Our guest today is Usman M. Jad,
Welcome.
The digital and
Digital and creative strategy director.
creative strategy director for Tabax Rewmi. Thank you so much for this interview. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Have a blessed day.